Organizing team, be ready.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Once again, a warm welcome to 1 week national level faculty development program on excellence in higher education, perspective of National Education Policy 2020 in collab. And this program is being organized by Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Sardar Patel College of Engineering, Mumbai, and Federation of Education Leaders and Administrators in collaboration with SA India Western Section and Indian Institution of Industrial Engineering under IQAC of SPC. Today we have with us eminent personality, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Raman K. Jha, and he will be speaking on a topic, performance excellence in NRF, NAAC, and NBA. He is a Vice Chancellor in Amity University, Ranchi, Jharkhand. I request organizing team member to kindly introduce our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning to one and all for the 14th session. I would like to welcome you all and thank everyone for coming. It's a great honor for me to introduce you to our eminent speaker for the 14th session, Dr. Raman Jha, who will be taking this session on performance excellence in NIRF, NAAC, and NBA. Professor Jha has been instrumental in building strong links with business and industry, both nationally and internationally, at Indus International University, Himachal Pradesh, from 2013 to 2016. He established high-profile partnerships and research collaborations with leading universities in the US, Malaysia, India, United Kingdom, and Sri Lanka. He has established Surendra Institute of Engineering and Management at Siliguri, West Bengal as founder principal from 2009 to 2013. He served as professor, associate professor, assistant professor at Sikkim Manipal Institute of Technology, Sikkim, from November 1997 to August 2009. He served as assistant professor at the University of Delhi Colleges, Delhi, from December 1990 to October 1997. He comes with an academic administration and teaching experience of over 30 years. He joined Amity to make an impact in education for all the times to come from June 2016 onwards. As its first Vice Chancellor, Dr. Raman Jha is the Chief Academic and Administrative Executive Officer of Amity University, Jharkhand. We welcome you, sir. Over to you now.
A warm welcome to you, sir. Now the session is handed over to you. We request you to kindly present your PowerPoint.
Give me a second.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you so much. Hope I am audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I once again thank the management of this big event that you had for almost 5 days, and possibly this is the last session as well. I could not hear all the lectures which have been given by many other experts, but I will try and do justice with what I have been given with the excellence through the ranking systems or maybe the accreditation systems that we have in the country as of now. Now, if I begin, I would like to first let the faculty members understand what is the difference between accreditation and ranking. Now, if you look at accreditation per se, it is the evaluation of the program or the institute as a whole by some external bodies like NBA or NAAC. So there are two bodies, one is NBA and another is NAAC. NBA is National Board of Accreditation and NAAC is National Accreditation and there's another word there, Council. So that is another regulatory body which Assessment and Accreditation Council. So that's another body by the Government of India which tries to assess the evolution or the development of an organization and mark them. So these are the two bodies. Then comes the third one, which is NIRF, which is for ranking of the institutions at the national level. So we will try and distinguish.
Are you also presenting?
No, not necessary. I'll discuss.
Okay, fine.
Is that fine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So that no people are with me. If you want me to send you the details, I will send you later, maybe if required. So what we have as of now, see, the country had I would say privilege of being the leader in the academic field around the world, and there were people coming up from outside the country also to gain knowledge from here, from India. Naturally, therefore, we had established system earlier, but then the system changed because of historical reasons. And then we are trying to get back or maybe consolidate our situation and bring every aspect of it. Somebody said not able to hear properly. I don't know. Do I need to do something from my end? I'll try and make it louder from my end if required. Okay. So historically speaking, every country for that matter would always like that the children from the place must get the best of education. Now, when you get into the three mode, as I said last time, the centrally funded, the state funded, and the those funded by self, which is the private organizations, then emphasis on education possibly gets also partially divided, and then it also depends on people seeking knowledge and people giving knowledge. So it's a relationship which gets developed, and ultimately if there is an authority, if there is an organization which tries to test as to what you are delivering vis-a-vis what you have promised to deliver, the accreditation aspects come into play. So it's a measure of overall quality of an educational program. So when you want to accredit or get evaluated as far as programs are concerned, then you require to get onto the process of NBA. But when the whole institute or the university as a whole or affiliated institutes are going to be accredited, it is NAAC. And then you also have a choice at the national level to be ranked because of certain parameters. So I'll get into details slowly. This has been in operation, the ranking aspect has been in operation for just a few years only, last 5 years, NIR. And wherein we find that there are institutes. I'm getting an echo to myself. Hello, am I audible to all? Can somebody say?
Yes, sir, but there is an echo. There's an echo from
Somebody might have put the thing differently. Maybe. Yeah, it is okay.
Yeah,
fine.
no, it's fine now.
No, not still. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there are some institutes of repute that we are all aware of, like IITs, IIMs, or even NITs. They have always ranked higher, including, of course, the first one going to IISc, Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore. So these institutes who have been ranked already have therefore confidence in them that they have been following the standard norms as is required by the regulatory body as well. And they also rank high because they are better than others. So there is a comparative analysis also by these. And therefore, when somebody is ranking, say 1 or 2 for the last 5 years, they need not be ranked for the further. But then there are regulations, and then we let us understand one by one. So what is the difference between accreditation and ranking is that accreditation either evaluates or and tries to understand either the program, which is NBA accreditation, or the institute or the university, which is the NAAC. NAAC. But ranking is something where you take the points from NAAC or NBA also accreditation, and then evaluate it and compare it with other organizations as far as some parameters are concerned. And those are very, very standardized parameters. And people have studied and compared also. So there is no competition between these three units. We are to compete as a university with other university, as an institute with other institute, or as a program with other programs elsewhere. These are the three comparisons that we draw. So these are not very difficult, but not very simple as well, because there are some who depends on certain things, data, some depends on process as well. So I'll come to that one by one. I would say the assessment of the various quality parameters of education, including what are the things which are included. One is the quality and quantity of inputs. Quality and quantity of inputs. That means this starts from admission process itself. How many number of admissions you have had, and what is the quality of students that you have taken in. Then innovative processes that you have put in between to educate the children that have joined these education institutes. And then their performances, how are they performing? So let me repeat: the input, and then the process which is in between, and then are you improving continuously as well or no? So is the institute ranked lower last time, and has it improved? That means there is a continuous improvement or no is a thing. Then institutional support. How much is institute supporting all these? The setting up, the infrastructure, the faculty, the books in the library, the computer facilities, the sports facility, the facility for co-curricular activities, and so on. So these are all being taken as parameters on which you are going to getting evaluated. Then governance itself is a very, very important thing. How is it governed? Which means, are the exams taken in time? Are the results coming out in time? Are there any problems during the examination? How are the conductions of everything that you have as a process is being governed and also tested. In terms of students' performance as well as graduate outcomes, there are again parameters fixed that these are the graduate outcomes or the program outcomes. Sometimes it is called the program educational outcomes. These are all outcomes. So outcomes have already defined in the curriculum and syllabus. Now, if you define it, have you achieved it or no? If you have achieved it, how much of percentage has it been achieved? So all those points are being gathered and taken. Then another very important thing in the ranking especially is the perception of the organization. How is that organization being perceived nationally, comparatively again? And then whether you have been able to reach out to the maximum people. So the outreach or you can say inclusiveness that you have had in the organization, as well as the perception that you have created as an institute in the minds of the student, in the minds of the public, in the minds of the specialists around the country. So these 2-3 things are being played with, and then you get evaluated. So if I come to the definition part of it, I can say this as accreditation is a process of quality assurance and improvement. So there is a way in which the regulatory bodies are trying to assure and ensure that these qualities must be met. And then you also improve because you have had a vision and a mission. And this is then again verified at the program level or the institute level, either which is working under AICTE, which are the technical courses, or UGC, the general courses across the country. When they also produce the students, whether they are able to cater to the needs of the industry or society or not, is another way of looking at things. Now coming to ranking. So that's accreditation that you have seen. Two sides of it, program or the institute, and the aspects of input, the process, the governance, the support by the management, the students' performance, the examination pattern, everything related to the organization is being evaluated in terms of a table, and then those are given a ranking. They are weighted in a different manner. we as an organization, we as an institute, we as a faculty must understand how are we going to be tested tomorrow if you have not got this. Ranking. Ranking, on the other hand, is an assessment of overall performance of an institution and its comparison with the performance of other institutes, as I said earlier. Now, coming to the differentiation between NBA and the NAAC, we'll have to understand again one by one. Let's come to NBA and NAAC parallelly, so that you can make a difference between the two, and I don't have to debate too much. NBA also evaluates the programs out of 1,000 marks. So NBA 1,000 marks is required. Out of 1,000, whatever is the marks that you can gain. NAAC also evaluates institutions or universities out of 1,000. These two things are out of 1,000. So same thing. Then NBA is an assessment of quality of program based on either a 3-year comprehensive data and improvement to fulfill the POs and PSOs, as you have seen, whereas the NAAC takes the data of 5 years. Now please understand, moment you apply for an NBA accreditation, you will have to say that this program we want to be given accreditation by NBA. So it is a program specific. And this is either for 3 years accreditation, or if you score above a certain point, which I'll come to a little later, if you score above 750 out of 1,000, sorry, then your accreditation goes extended for another 3 years, which is 6 years. That means next accreditation for that program can happen after 6 years. I hope I'm clear. So NBA for a particular program gets accredited only for 3 years or 6 years out of 1,000 scale, whereas NAAC goes for 5 years of data. Now, how about the ranking NIRF? NIRF ranking is every year. So this is the basic difference. NIRF ranking system works for any organization who opts to go for it every year. So every year the data is taken and you are ranked. However, then the NAAC comes after 5 years of data, and then NBA either 3 years or 6 years. I hope I'm clear. Out of 1,000, it is NAAC as well as NBA. However, NIRF, it is only out of 100. So here is another difference. So if I again try and differentiate and make you understand in 1 hour time, ranking by NIRF is a measure of relative performance. It is not your absolute performance. This is the marks you have got. If you have got, say, 800 and somebody has got 801, he wins. So he gets a better rank than you. The first rank is 1, then 2, 3, 4, and out of 100, the way you get listed, you remain there. There are many who score same, so they will have the same rank, obviously. So the score comes like this. If you score out of more than 600 out of 1,000 in NBA, this is a 3-year accreditation. If you score 750, it is for 6 years. More than 750, it is for 6 years. Now, NBA system of evaluation is also by visiting the university and the site. So that means they will come to the organization to actually see the facility. Similarly, NAAC people also come to the campus. NIRF people don't come to the campus. So it is based on what data you give. They will verify and validate the data in their own manner. Whereas NAAC and NBA gives you some privilege to be evaluated by yourself and then rest by their team. So please understand the other difference as well. So NAAC assesses the capability of an institution, score in a 4-point grade, which is 3.5 to 4 is the A++ grade. Then 3.26 to 3.25, it is A+. These are all there on the website, so I need not be getting into details. If it is greater than 3.01, it is A grade, and then 2.76 and above, it is B++, then 2.51 and above is B, and then 2.01 is B. If you are greater than 1.51 out of 4, then you have a grade C. So if you cross 3.51 out of 4, then only you get A++, which is the best accreditation by NAAC. The NAAC is for 5 years that I said, NIRF is for 1 year, and then 3 and 6 years is already told to you. Coming to the weightage, what are the things which get weighted in the NIRF ranking? It is again explained very well on the website of the NAAC and NBA. Look at it, then the accreditation is on a parameter, which are there are 5 parameters which are given here and listed here. And if I tell you the 5 parameters, you can just try and understand it. You don't have to mug it up now or worry about it now also. First is teaching, learning, and resources. The whole aim of educational institute is this: I teach, students learn, and what are the resources available. So if these 3 things are being weighted, the weight for this in the NIRF ranking is to the tune of almost 30%. Earlier it was 40%, now it is 30%. Then research and professional practice. That's another area which has come to focus and then is being highlighted and stressed by and large by every regulatory authority, because we rank low in the international patenting and research area. So this also, research and professional practice, is also given 30% of weightage. Then graduation outcomes, that is the outcome of the students, which you have promised in the curriculum, is 20%. So this is 80% weightage given to these 3 parameters in NIRF ranking. If you're better in all these, you will rank high. Then outreach and inclusivity is, if you have included more number of, say, economically backward people as well, or disadvantaged people, as well as you have taken care of gender biases, the regional aspirations you have taken care of, taken care of the social responsibilities. So if you have, your outreach is high, that also gives you 10% of weightage. And then last 10% is on the perception. So these are the 5 parameters on which the NIRF ranking is done. Now, compare these topics only, or these parameters only in the NAAC and NBA. You look at it, the weightage in the NAAC for research and learning and resources is only 15%. Then for research and professional practice is another 10%. For the graduation outcome is 5%. And for the outreach and inclusivity is just 1%. This is the NAAC weightage for these parameters. I'm just saying these parameters, which means NIF ranking only 5 parameters, and this makes 100, and out of which you are evaluated if you apply for it. But for NAAC, this only gives you a 30% weightage of the whole 1000. So that means 300 out of 1000 is evaluated in these parameters. There are other parameters also. Similarly, weightage for NBA on these parameters again is up to 30%. So again, the teaching, learning and resources 13%, research and professional practice 10%, and graduation outcomes 8%. There is no mention of outreach and inclusivity in the NBA, or even perception in the NBA as well as NAAC, whereas it is there in the NIRF. So depending on which agency you are going for accreditation or ranking, you have to be careful. Now coming to the NAAC parameters. So those were NIRF parameters. The NAAC parameters, there are 7 criteria which have been very, very standardized. First is the curricular aspect, wherein you get into details. What is there in the curriculum, who is designing it, what is the process of thing, how many aspects have you actually changed every year for 5 years data? Have you changed it through the system that you have in place through the board of studies? How much of percentage of syllabus or curriculum has been updated or changed? How many times your board of studies have met? All these parameters come into play in the curricular aspect, and this gives the university 150 marks, whereas the affiliated university again 150, and affiliated undergraduate 100, and affiliated PG is 100. So these are again tabulated. I would only stress on the parameters, and then so that you understand, as a faculty, what is the emphasis that you must give in the class or while teaching as you move in the college. The second point is teaching, learning and evaluation. This is out of 200 in the university. The third is the research, innovation and extension. Here it is 250. So maximum marks in the NAAC, which has now been made mandatory for all universities and organizations, is 250. Now this 250 marks is not easy to achieve in 5 years of time unless you are working hard every year. So, and that is the aim of NAAC, that they are exciting us, they are telling us, they are regulating us to say that research is going to be seen and tabulated and calculated in terms of how many publications you have done, whether the publications are in the reputed journals or they are in the journals of the UGC listing or no, and how consistently have you been publishing, or you have published a book or written an article or maybe organized conferences, national, international. These are all academic activities that we do, and extension activities as well, wherein has your organization been sensitized in terms of gender, in terms of those marginalized sections, or the environment as a whole, ecology as a whole, or areas of concern which govern which concerns the whole earth or the globe or the area where you are located. If you are concerned and you have shown those extension activities with the reporting, those will give you marks. The fourth point is infrastructure and learning resources. This is the aspect which the management has to provide, and infrastructure, if that is standardized based on the, again, standards given by the regulatory bodies, you can gain marks out of it. Student support and progression. This is the area which is our concern, because if the students don't progress, we don't exist. So student progression is a maximum. How is your scheduling done for the classes? Are the students given the online as well as offline classes in this particular scenario, or are they given the sufficient space to sit while they are coming to the class? Is there sufficient aeration taken care of, or maybe sitting space, cleanliness being taken care of? Those disadvantaged sections, are they being taken care of? All that. So how much of support system is given? Are the medical facilities available? Are the sports facilities available? Are there special ramp for those who are physically especially abled? So all these facilities are student support. And how are they progressing? What are the parameters under which we can see this? Then the sixth comes the governance, the leadership and the management, wherein you see how are you getting governed. That means, do you have the budget at the right time? Do we get the promotion also in the right time? Are you having sufficient number of faculty for teaching? This is how the education is being governed. And then in the end, you have the seventh point is the institutional values and best practices. This is the scope for development and growth, especially those who are just a few years. These things, if guided, takes shape with time. So this is where we are. So coming to the summary of what I just said is, please understand that 30% of weightage of NAAC and NBA is equivalent to 100% in the NIRF. That means if you are good in NBA and NAAC, then you will obviously be good in the ranking. So there is no separate requirement or preparation to be done for it. Even if you are ready for NAAC or NBA, then ranking is obviously to be done. Now, which is easier to be done first? Do we go for ranking first? Do we go for NAAC first, or do we go for NBA first? Obviously, NBA is an accreditation for a program. So if you run 10 programs, you will have 10 times accreditation for those programs specifically, unless you apply for all at one go. So 10 accreditation. So individually, preparation for each program is easy. Whereas coming to NAAC, the whole university accreditation is little difficult. That means every aspect of quality, every aspect of governance, the documentation, the processes, the policies, and the meetings in terms of governance, etc., all documented and done with the involvement of industry players, the parents also play sometime roles, and our own governing body and the board of studies, etc. If they have all played their roles and these things are documented with proof, I think you get a much better mark. And 70% of the credits which are to be given to individuals in the NAAC and NBA is done by peer group. Now, peer group means our own self-evaluation. You can mark out of 700. Just out of 300 is the visiting team which will come and evaluate. Now, this is a very good point wherein you yourself evaluate and see by yourself whether you have reached the expectation or no. So that's where we stand. The weightage part also I did mention. I can possibly then come to the points which suppose we are given the freedom to upload the data and we upload some data. Is that taken as verified or validated? This is a very important point. In the case of NAAC as well as NBA, the validation is done digitally now, as well as by the student survey system. So there are some students whose names are taken and the students are being asked whether this is there or this is not there, whether this facility as is claimed is there or no, whether your teaching is done in this manner, your governance is done in this manner. So there is a survey done from the student. So there cannot be everybody lying. So if you have given a data and that has to be validated, please do not give wrong data. If you give a wrong data and it is digitally validated wrongly or they are not verified properly, it will go against you. So that's the thing. There is no system of evaluation of perception in the case of NAAC and NBA. So there is a gap. So this perception does not exist as of now. And then outreach and inclusivity also does not figure out in both these NBA and NAAC. It does figure out in NBA 5%. Coming to the aspect of NBA accreditation now. So I've given you 5 parameters for the NIRF. Then there were 7 parameters for NAAC. And then there are 10 parameters for NBA. By and large, same, but then the parameters are different. So NBA evaluates us on 10 parameter scale. First is the vision, mission, and program educational objectives, the POs. Then there are tier 1 institutes and tier 2 institutes. The weightage is little different here and there. Then program, curriculum, and teaching learning process is the second part out of 100. This gives you 100 marks out of it. Then third is the course outcome and program outcomes, the COs and POs, the 175 marks out of 100, out of 1000. Then faculty information and contribution. How good are your faculty members and how have they been contributing in terms of research, in terms of innovation, in terms of entrepreneurial development, in terms of startup, in terms of social outreach, in terms of extension services and all that. Have they been chairing sessions elsewhere? Have they been contributing to the consultancy aspect? All that faculty contribution is being taken care. Then continuous improvement. Have we continuously improved? So there is a graphical presentation that we have to give, that we had this in the first year, the second year contribution, third year contribution, and so on. Then you have the first year academics is also given 50 marks out of it. Student support system is also there separately, which is also 50. And then governance, institutional support, and financial resources, 120. So it is just a separation in terms of data and in terms of the parameters. But understanding is that NIRF is for 5 parameter gain, NAAC is a 7 parameter gain, and NBA is a 10 parameter gain. NBA and NAAC out of 1000, NIRF is out of 100. NIRF is for 3 years or 6 years. NIRF is for every year. NBA is for 3 years or 6 years for a program. And then NAAC is for 5 years for an institute. I hope you have gathered it and put it in your mind also. So depending on the institute's health as well as the time they have spent in education arena, you'll have to apply for it. Coming to the actual system of evaluation, how do they do it? Coming to first one, the NAAC. So I also mentioned what is easy is NBA. Then which is easier is NAAC. So easiest is NBA, easier is NAAC, and then comes the ranking. Ranking is automatic if you do these two. There are two types of reports, or maybe three types of reports rather in the NAAC. First is the peer team report. Peer team is what we ourselves internally will evaluate, and this is 70% of the weightage. The second is the graphical representation. The first one is qualitative because it is the process and what quality have you implemented, what parameters have you seen, which is part and parcel of your delivery as well as lab setup as well as governance and everything. So the first part is peer report, which is 70% weightage, qualitative data, which is the general information. And the second part is graphical representation on the quantitative data, and we call that as QNM, so quantitative metrics. And then the third one is the institutional grade sheet, which is done by the institutional grade sheet is generated by the software based by the qualitative and quantitative indicators as well as the student satisfaction survey. So these three things. So we have to be very, very careful while writing or giving data on the 70% that we have. That has been divided into 4 further parts. That first section is general information. The second section is highlights of the criteria-wise analysis, 7 criteria on the NAAC, and evaluation of the qualitative indicators, which is a descriptive mode and qualitative rather than quantity being written. The third section here is an overall analysis of the weakness, strengths, and opportunities as well as challenges that the organization is facing. Section 4 here in the is the records recommendation for quality enhancement of the institute, and which is again the aspects of improvement that I have been mentioning earlier. So this is how the NAAC comes and evaluates in 3 parts. Coming to NBA, which is easiest, I said. So there are just 2 parts of it, the chairperson's visit report and the evaluator's visit report. They come, evaluate, and not much scope is there to be given by the organization except the report data that you have to present. So there are part A, B, C's in the chairman's part, and similarly A, B, C in the visitors, the evaluators visit, the report, and that's summed up in the 10 parameter scale, gives you the NBA accreditation for that program, specific program, not otherwise. Now, we have talked about the system which exists. Can we try and understand what are the benefits and why do we go for it? And should we go for it? Even if the government says, yes, it is mandatory, that's one part of it. But then we ourselves as an institute must understand, yes, this is a requirement. What are the benefits? There are benefits. And government is very, very, I would say, aware and vigilant that if the evaluation process is made right, then support system from the central government and the state government will flow. So that's how it is. I would like to give you this. NIRF ranking is a measure of degree of excellence of an institution at the national level. National Institutional Ranking Framework. It is a great recognition of the wonderful overall performance of an institute. So if you're performing well and you are not recognized, you feel bad. And therefore a system exists where you have a space to highlight your developments and take the credit for it. It is credible evidence that the institution's performance is laudable and comparable with that of the other institutions nationwide. So if you stand at the scale of say 25 out of 100, I'm saying in terms of ranking, you are better than many, at least. It provides a great mileage to the institution at pan-India level, and that attracts the students in turn. So if you have good quality students coming to you because of your own ranking and the system in place, your efforts in improving and actually ensuring the development of the student is easy, and even the placement becomes easy. So we have to work on the employability aspect as well. So your outreach and inclusiveness is being judged, which is the benchmark for performance. What is the benefit of NAAC? So those were the benefits of ranking. If you are better ranked, you will attract good students, good faculty, and nowadays across the globe, people are willing to come to organization, and if the organization is well ranked, nothing like it. Benefits of NAAC. What are the benefits? A good NAAC grade is a recognition of institution's performance, similar to ranking. So it is working on institutions' performance. NAAC assessment process helps the institution to know its strength. So by means of evaluation and somebody outside also evaluating you, you understand your strengths. These are the areas where I can actually score more. And your weakness, then what are the opportunities? Where are the opportunities by the government system or around the globe? If you look at your opportunities and even collaborate or maybe work together as an institute, at 2 institutes or universities, it will help through an informed review process. So there is a process which has been evaluated. NAAC accreditation process enables identification of area for improvement at the institutional level. Very important point. Then it also provides institute a new direction to grow and identify itself among better institutes. Suppose some institute has been ranked high and you understand their better practices or best practices, what they are doing, or what area have they really been able to fetch more funding. That also gives you marks. You'll also try to emulate, maybe in a year's time, 2 years' time, 3 years' time, you also get along. Therefore, you identify the areas. With a good NAAC score, institution is eligible for receiving funds from the government. Very important. And that is why the government has already laid out 6% of GDP for the organizations. So you score high, get the funding. Institution is obliged to provide quality education and provide reliable information on its website. So if your website informations are not right, it can go against you. Institution must practice innovative and modern methods of teaching and learning, because that is being marked. So if you're using still the old methods, that may not be giving you the results you expect. So the system encourages you to use the modern pedagogy as well. Now, the very important point coming is the employers, the industries are also looking towards institute and their products. If the institute is ranked high in the NAAC, naturally you get funding, and therefore the employers will be looking and they'll be assured that this institute is producing good quality student, and therefore the employability of the student also increases and they would visit on their own. The society also, of course, recognizes that, yes, we have set up an organization which is ranked so-and-so, or which is NBA accredited with this scale and so on, or a NAAC accredited. These are the benefits from NAAC. What are the benefits from NBA? Please stop me if I'm fast in between, or we can discuss the questions at the end if you have. The NBA accreditation is a recognition of the program, we have said. If the program is performing well, that program will get accredited. And if for the other, you'll have to again have another system or another process followed. Through accreditation process, again here, program knows its strength and weakness and so on. Say your lab is very good, but your lab staff is not good. So you know your weakness as well. So you must either coach your lab staff or train him or send him somewhere to be trained, or recruit somebody who is good. Only then students will learn. See, many a times in our existing system also, the laboratory work is neglected. And people feel, oh, a student will do on their own. There is a manual, and manual is enough to guide the student. Please recall your olden days. We have learned only from teachers. We have not learned from manuals unless you mature yourself. The next point is, accredited points offer the standard quality education, and it also enhances the stakeholders' confidence in the program. कि चलो हमने ये program शुरू किया था, ये हमारा accredited हो गया. Then it also strengthens the students' learning and graduate attributes as again spelled out in the curriculum. The employers recognize obviously the accredited programs more than non-accredited programs, and with time, maybe another 5 years to go, all universities, all colleges, all institutes will have to be accredited. That's the aim with which the government is running. The degree offered by accredited programs has recognition even at international level. Very important point for NBA. All the degrees of that program which is accredited, and the degree may be saying that this is NBA recognized, this will have international recognition. Accredited programs also demonstrates obviously the accountability of the society which is running this through the continuous improvement to achieve the excellence. So that's where we are. There are some suggestions which we can make after you understand the gaps between what NBA is doing, what NAAC is doing, what NIRF is doing. What are the gaps? I made it pretty clear earlier. One, there are just 5 parameters for the NIRF. Now, what is that it does not emphasize? It does not emphasize on any process. NIRF is only data driven, whereas NBA and NAAC are process driven as well as data driven. NBA, there will be an inspection by the accrediting body. NIRF, there is no inspection. You just do the data. Who is doing the verification? The team from NIRF doing the verification by their own sources. You will not come to know. Whereas NAAC, 70% you evaluate, 30% they evaluate. NBA also similar. So that's where we stand. The suggestions to, I would say, NBA can be that NBA shall make use of the robust DVV, that is called the digitally validated and verified data used in NAAC methodology, and also include the perception metrics of NIRF. Suppose NBA, which does not have the aspect of the data validation, and they also include, it will be better, so that whatever is done for NIRF is already done for NAAC. So if NAAC does not do it, NIRF has to do it on its own. So that gap can be filled up. Then the true opinion of the quality will come out obviously very clearly. NAAC has an inbuilt, obviously, DVB system, inbuilt. So it asks the students, it asks the faculty members, it also does validation digitally from the data that you have given. It does not, but however, it does not include the important measures of perception again, which is perception is a part and parcel of only NIRF. It is not for the NAAC, neither for NBA. So if you include perception also in NAAC, the gap can be filled up. That is a suggestion which we can give. Now for NIRF and ranking, an institution no doubt has to take care of all quality and performance aspects as required, but it has to specifically establish its footing in respect of outreach, inclusivity, and perception vis-a-vis NAAC and NBA, and it is being tested by independent body. So NIRF is little more difficult compared to both of them. NAAC is little more difficult than NBA. NBA is the easiest aspect that we should start attempting to standardize the process of education that we all are part and parcel of, and achieve the aim of new education policy, as well as I would say the real development which is only possible through education. So my salutations once again to the team of the NEP, who Dr. Kasturi Rangan and the whole team of experts have put in such a nice document. All that we need to do is to study them thoroughly, to try and understand what exactly is expected. Those who are new can have their mission and vision also done in a manner that you achieve the same. If you say that I want to achieve 100% placement and you don't, then somehow you have not met the expectation as per your mission and vision. So NAAC is a very, very different body where it tells you, you define your own mission and vision, define your own process. You will only have to tell us that you have followed it and achieved the aim. So it's a nice way of going ahead. Earlier, there were a lot of inspections and possibly, I would say, even strangulation, I would call it, that many organizations were forced or maybe demeaned also many a times, insulted by the bodies which were coming. Now it is a very, very open system. First evaluation is done by yourself. Once you evaluate yourself, they come and re-evaluate, validate what you have given. You are ranked as per the parameters. Once you put your SSR, upload it, and they are evaluated, and you feel no, your ranking should have been better than what they have given, you can again appeal as well. So there is an appellate body also. So the whole system is set, and I wish that education takes shape through this particular system of accreditation and ranking, and grow to that level of earlier days of supremacy in terms of our knowledge delivery, in terms of attracting students from across the globe, in terms of being grounded to the truth and the reality, rather than only going in for being ranked high. So the essence of education is to become good. Once you are good, let the evaluation take place, you will automatically be ranked high. So a background way of ensuring a good rank or accreditation will only be detrimental, not only for us, for the next generations. So we owe a lot of responsibility to the society, and we must fulfill all aspects which is expected. I think that's the summary of all accreditation and a ranking process or the system which is in place. I'm open to questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Our valedictory function is at 1 o'clock, and I request all the participants to be in the meeting till that time. So we will have the discussions with reference to NIRF, NB, and NAAC till 1 o'clock. Okay. So that is a special request to our Honorable Vice Chancellors, Dr. Raman sir also, as well as participants also. So there are various points with reference to the NAAC accreditation. Sir, there is a question from my side with reference to the data capturing system that is given to the third party, particularly in case of a NAAC. And the time what is given by the data capturing system authorities for submitting the data, that time is also decided by them. And due to pandemic, it was experienced that it was difficult to submit the data on the data capturing system in the given timeline. So after a particular time, last date offered by them, they have locked the data capturing system. In spite of having the all kind of credentials and the achievements and the data and many more things, those things couldn't be submitted because there was a lock. So what is the way out in such kind of a situation?
No, is the period over?
Yeah, that data capturing system, they have given the last date, and that last date over, and the institution could not submit the data.
You can there are two things. One is you can write to them once again saying that we could not do because of this reason. If there is a possibility that they have not taken up your case, they may, the decision is theirs. Nobody else can really influence this. So one has to appeal, and in case you get a bad rank after having been ranked, then there is a system of appeal anyway. So there you can again modify and put it again. I think this is what I see now.
Okay, sir. Any other question from the participants? Sir, there is a small request because we need this session to be continued at up to 1 o'clock. So you can consider some of the points for the excellence in this NRF, NAAC and NBA, so that we will continue immediately after that as a valedictory function.
No, you want me to continue or you want some questions to be taken up? That's why I stopped.
Yeah, so you can add some of the points.
Yeah, I can. No issues. I'll get into more details as far as the points were concerned. So let's again, let me then repeat, and so that you understand, you don't have to read again. NIRF, how many points were there? 5, right? And it was out of 100. So come back to NIRF once again. So if you come back to NIRF, what are the 5 points that we had? The first was teaching, learning and resources, TLR. Teaching, learning and resources. Now this is with the 30% weightage. Earlier it was 40% weightage. So 40 or 30 doesn't matter. But so this particular aspect, TLR, is the most important thing. And they are going to judge you in terms of another 3-4 smaller subparts, which I can now say because I could not say that time. Faculty student ratio. What is the faculty student ratio? It's very important, and UGC and AICT already defines this mostly as 1:20 or 1:15. This itself has 30% weightage for this particular aspect. Then you have faculty with PhD and experience. So your experience in PhD and PhD is a very important thing. If the people have done PhD abroad or as more reputed organization, your weightage will increase. Your experience is more the experience, better it is. That also gives 30% weightage in this particular aspect. Then library and laboratory facilities. This is TLR, teaching, learning and resources. So library and laboratory facilities again have 30% weightage. So 3 points: faculty teacher ratio, student ratio, then faculty with PhD and experience, and then library and laboratory. So these are resources. Then the last, sports facility and extracurricular, 10%. So 30, 90%, and 10% for sports and curricular activities. So this comes in the first part. And total weightage given to this part is 40% or 30%. I hope you're very, very clear. So the second point here is the research productivity, impact and IPR. The criteria, this criteria has 20% weightage again. Subparts of this is publication. So repeated journal publications, it carries 45% of internal weightage. Then citation, how much of your paper is being cited by others, very important, and this also has 45% weightage. Then 10% is internal weightage is given to the IPR, which is intellectual property right, and we have been seeing a surge of activities in the area of getting patented or copyright systems. So more the number, better it is. And I had spoken in my first lecture that this IPR was a Western concept, but then because of that, we don't come in the world ranking, even though we are good. So why not get into it? So there is a process. There are people who are experts. There are law experts who are who are ready to give this service. All that we have to do is give it in a format, or every university may have a IPR cell itself, because this is giving you 10% weightage in the second part. The third part is the graduate outcome, which is generally defined in the curriculum. This has 15% weightage. The outcome weightage is university exam performance. How is the students performing? Which is just 50% internal weightage for the exam. And then for competitive examinations, if you are making them prepare, that also gives 50% weightage. So for your graduate outcomes, the examination internal and examination outside. So that means the success of, part of the student is what we are looking at. And this is 15% weight is given. Then outreach and inclusivity, which is for NIRF only. This includes again 15%. And what do you see there? You can see this sees the continuing education aspect, which is the adult education. If continuing education is also being offered by the institution or the university, you get 25% weightage for the NIRF ranking. Percentage of students from other states, outreach part. So other states, if they are coming and attracted to you, 25% weightage is being given. Then women students and faculty, 20% internal. If you have more women faculty or reasonable women faculty and student, you get weightage 20% there. Then percentage of economically and socially disadvantaged sections, this we mentioned earlier. So this is also being given 20% of weightage. So 25, 25, 20, 20, 90 is gone. Facilities for differently abled persons. So we did mention all this earlier, but then specific 20% weightage. So that sums up and makes it 90% together. And the last is perception. This has 10% or so weightage. And process, this comes from the process for peer rating in category brand, 50% weightage. And then application for the seat ratio, 50% of internal weightage again. So what is the perception in the market? It will depend on what processes you are doing, how are you conducting your examination, or what is the criteria of selection of the faculty, of the staff, of the students, and so on. So that's the method that NIRF adopts. There are, if you want me to get into details, I can. Optimum requirement for better rank. What is the optimum requirement? What you must achieve so that you have the rank? First one. In case of faculty-student ratio, assessment will be based on the ratio of number of regular faculty members in the institute and total sanctioned or approved intake considering all full-time programs. Benchmark ratio is 1:10 to score maximum marks. Even though standard is 1:20, in between is 1:15, but if you can have more faculty or one faculty for every 10 student, you get highest marks for this category. The faculty members with doctorate degree and average experience required for maximum marks are 95% and 50 years respectively. So that means if you have 95% of your faculty members with PhD degree, you get the highest marks. And then minimum 15 years of experience, then you get more marks. So it is very specific, very objective as well. Maximum publication, then the third one is considerable amount of annual spending on library and laboratory for procurement, and maintenance will give maximum scope for library, laboratory and sports. Naturally so. If you have, say, your curriculum which says these are the practical experiments or these are to be done, whether you have the latest equipments for it or whether they are in use, whether you have the manuals, whether they are being maintained well, whether their accuracy is being maintained and students are actually using it, what is the uses, even for the library, what is the uses pattern, and how many number of students come to the library, how many books are issued on a daily basis, and all that is counted. So it's a real mention of the utilization of facilities. Then maximum publications and citation for articles, books, patents published per faculty as an average to all faculty of institution decides the research related scores. Now this is another very, very important point, that maybe 1 or 2 people get good scores or good publications, or 5. But if you have 100 faculty members and only 5 get the publications or patent or IPR activity, you will have to count and take the ratio as per faculty. So how many per faculty is your publication or citation or your IPR activity or patents is what is being counted. More the number, better it is. And it is comparative. So whosoever scores highest there will get the highest marks and so on. The student performance in university examinations are optimized in such a way that it is at least 80% students should graduate in minimum time to score maximum marks. So if you want to score maximum marks as far as the outcome of the student outcome is concerned, then 80% of your students should graduate in minimum time, which is 3 years course they must complete in 3 years. 5 years course they must complete in 5 years, not extended period. And 80% of students. If you have 80%, then you have the marks there. Based on gender equality, again, 50% women students and 20% women faculty is a benchmark, and 2 women as institute head or governing body board expected to score the maximum marks. So this is to encourage the gender equity and distribution. So if you have 2 heads of institutions as women, you get the marks, and the 50% women students should be there in the class. Then out of a total strength, 50% economically and socially disadvantaged students should be admitted to score maximum marks. Now this is very, very critical data, that 50% of student strength should be from economically backward. And this is being given to increase the gross enrollment ratio of every organization. So not a single student should be on the street, not doing a degree or a diploma or a school. That's the aim. 100% GER is to be achieved by 2030 is the aim. So that's where we stand as far as very detailed nitty-gritties are concerned. Now there is something else also, and we do understand in the literature that we have some scheme called ABCD analysis framework. What is this ABCD analysis framework is also important and can be understood. If since I have time, I can possibly give it for once, and then faculty members getting it can read it further. ABCD model is: A is for advantages. I'll get into details. A is for advantages, B is for benefits, C is for constraints, the problems, the issues, and D is for disadvantages. So you have advantage at one corner, disadvantage at the other, then you have benefits in the other, and constraints in the fourth one. So there are 4 sides of the square that you can think of. So advantages, benefits, constraints, and your disadvantages. Can we get into details of this ABCD model? Are your organizational issues? There are things which are called organizational issues. There are things which are called academic issues. There are things called student issues. There are issues which are called faculty issues. Please mark the points. If you want, I'll repeat. Organization issues as a whole. The second is academic issues, only related to academics. Third is student issues. Fourth is the facility issues. The faculty issues. Academic is another, student and faculty, the stakeholders, these issues. Then issues on administration, part which is important. Infrastructure, and then learning resources. This is the 5th one. And 6th one is other stakeholders. Now, if you look at all these 6 and look at what advantages your organizations are giving, what are the disadvantages that your organization is giving or at present having, what are the benefits it is giving in terms of all these 4-5 parameters, and then what are the constraints that we have. So that's a very good standard way of evaluating ourselves, putting ourselves to the scanner in terms of where we stand academically, organization-wise, student-wise, faculty-wise, in administration and governance-wise, and ultimately the other stakeholders like industry perception, or maybe even the society perception, or maybe how many students from all among other backward classes or economically disadvantaged sections have we served, and so on. If you further get into this issues, there are other parameters that you can think of. Come to the criteria, And the first, the criteria that we have been, 5 criteria that we have had for NIRF ranking, 5, you remember? Come to the organizational issues. Can we think of organizational issues as educational powerhouse? So our aim as an organization should be to become an educational powerhouse. Anything and everything is being taught here at the best. Now that's the ultimate that you must achieve, and is the teaching and learning process being done in this manner. Then research productivity and IPR, are we the knowledge center as well? So we have to have first the educational delivery as a powerhouse, then we must become a knowledge center in terms of research, productivity and IPR. Then graduation outcome, are we the best exam takers? That means, do we have students who are performing best in their examination, inner examination or outer examination? So the best exam takers. Then outreach and inclusivity, integrational facilitator. So our organizations, the integrated with all the facilities that we can think of. And then ultimate is perception, which is the image builder. So as far as organizational issues are concerned, under the 5 categories, do we stand at the maximum, at the best? If you are, nothing like it. Similarly, you can have for academic issues, these were organizational issues, you can have academic issues, you can have educational catalyst. Are you an educational catalyst? Are you a knowledge dissemination center? Are you an exam performer? Do you have integrated facilities? Or are you an image setter? Do you have a good image builder? Or are you an image setter? Are you, the next category if you go, are you an image provider? Or are you an image carrier? Or are you image contributor? Or image sharer? Now, this we do understand in terms of branding many a times, or marketing. If you are recognized by the best of places, if you have the degree or the recognition certificate from everywhere, naturally your ranking will go high. So then the student issues, the educational, can we be the best inducing place for education? So the education inducement center. Are we the knowledge utilization center? For the exam beneficiaries, are we the exam beneficiaries? Have we given the delivery in a manner that everybody has gained in terms of examination when they have appeared for it? Then integration contenders. Are we contending for integration? This is little lower level, but still okay. And then image providers. Similarly, faculty issues, again, you can have, do you have the educational strength? Do you have the knowledge creation strength? Do you have the exam improvers or integration providers? Do you have the then issues on administration and the governance and etc.? You can have, are we the best educational supplement? That means we have given all support system to see that best delivery happens. If yes, nothing like it. Are we the best knowledge providers, exam conductors, then integration? See, there are many organizations who play with all these things. And that is where the country is not only losing its image. We as a teacher have a role. Let's play that very, very honestly. If you play that role honestly, we will, the evaluation bodies will come and give you a ranking anyway. Then other stakeholders, are we the real educational support for the system? Are we the knowledge gain centers? Are we the exam appreciators? Do we appreciate, do they appreciate examination that we conduct? Are they integrated with us or no? Or are they the ones who are sharing the image that you have? If you have good image, they'll share it. If you don't have good image, then they will share the same. That's how analysis is being done. See, most of the things, even though subjective, has been tried to be made objective so that the ranking is easily done and more computer prone, rather more data prone rather than subjectivity. And that's the age we are living in. This is the age where we are connected, or we call this as hyper connected. We are connected through hyperlinks. We are connected through the visual exchange, the way we are doing it now. We are connected through digital library. We are connected through, the Google depository that you have. Even the students' data related to their marks, their degrees are all to be uploaded on the NAD. The industry is going to be seeing those depositories and verifying whether the student has really done what they have done. So the intermediaries in between, or people who were trying to take advantage of the situation, this data sharing has actually, I would say, revolutionized the present state, and we are in a very good time where these utilizations can be maximized to the extent possible by making as good a system as possible. Now, if you look at some other aspects and details of even ABCD model that we just shared, I can share some important points. Not everything is possible, but ABCD model in the new national ranking system and NIRF system that we have factors under all that we just mentioned: organizational, administrative, academic, students, and other stakeholders for the ranking system. What are the critical elements that we have? In the organization issues, we can think of improving the efficiency. If I'm able to solve a particular problem of a student, how much of time I take to solve it? It is efficiency. So reducing time. If I'm able to give a particular service to a student, how low cost we are giving, and in how much of best manner are we delivering? So that improves our efficiency. Are we working on or orienting ourselves in a manner that we automatically become research oriented? Now, do we have a system wherein people coming in become research oriented? How do we do this? If you have done it, there is a best practice which you can have. Then do we have better performers compared to other organizations? So maybe incentivizing them or upgrading them or encouraging them, motivating them is aspect of leadership that we must show. Then how much of civic responsibility have we taken up? If you understand this, organizational level goes very high. I've gone into further details also, and this is a very good way of trying to understand things. Then you have practices which you can think of: conservation of resources, utilization of resources that is happening, how much of creativity and innovation we are putting in, how much is the pursuit for learning. Very, very badly missing these days. Students do not have the patience to listen. Forget about speaking for 1.5 hours. They don't have the patience of listening for 15 minutes. And this is to be inculcated by our faculty members who are listening to me. Please work on this. Let them sit, make your class so interesting, so creative, so innovative that they gather and they go satisfied. Yes, today I got something new. You should not be ever seen, lack of being with lack of resources or you're not knowledgeable. See, I don't come from NIRF or MBA or NAAC. It is all available on the Google, and you read through books. These are all available. But how would you actually take it, and how would you implement, and how much are you successful in giving it to the student level, to the last person in the row is important. And there is a NAAC. That NAAC is your NAAC, your instinct to be a good teacher, and that's what I have been harping on and making a teacher these days says, oh, it doesn't matter what image I carry. No, if you carry a bad image, you will give bad delivery of subject as well, because it is the perception that also matters. So a lot of responsibility on our shoulders. You cannot take things lightly, lying down. If you have chosen to become an academic soldier, I call it. So you are an academic soldier who has to guard every house, who has to take care and not spare anybody who is not disciplined as far as academics is concerned. So that's where our aim is. then you can go on. In academic issues, you have to have action plans, you have to have creativity encouragement plans, you have increased employability part. How much is our retentivity of the faculty members? That also needs to be understood. Then how much are we committing to the service that we have taken up is another issue. Effective grievance and counseling cells have to exist. Then faculty issues. What are the faculty issues? If the institution or the organization looks at diverse faculty inclusion, so that means, and that is what the aim of NEP is, that you have multidisciplinary system in the university, and all types, all subjects, all experts exist under one banner. So if you have diversity together, we learn to live together as well. So diversity is one. Do we have to teach beyond syllabus or no? Now you would say the students are not ready to even learn what is there in the syllabus. Forget about beyond syllabus. That's where you come in. If you can teach them beyond syllabus, like see, I was forced to speak little more. I thought that would be enough because people get bored also listening to these things. But when I was told I got an opportunity, I would try and make it as interesting and as elusive as possible. But I have to be ready for it. If you are ready, student will get ready. I'm telling you this. So teaching beyond syllabus is another. Interaction with the society, empowered faculty. Have you empowered the faculty to take their own call? There are many things which as an administrator we have to do. We say, we guide, but if you leave the faculty and they take the responsibility for the same, I think sky's the limit. Then issues on the administration and other things. The teacher-student ratio is one part. The new experiments that you can add or add facilities so that you can collaborate with some universities outside the country, and then in real sense also produce those facilities in your own organization with time. Grooming students in all walks of life, very important. It's not that they just have to be an engineer or a social scientist. Let them be enjoying their cultural activities, the sports activities, the dancing, the music, playing instruments, organizing events, going for picnic, going for even I would say skydiving or swimming, whatever. So you have one life, and allow the student and faculty both to use this and have all the choices possible. So then the latest and the modern methods we must use, and we must ultimately bring out the enlightened and the best possible disciplined citizens for the coming generation, for the coming time which is on our shoulders today. So that remains. And for the other stakeholders, if you see, you can even offer choices for people or parents to come and do the continuing education. We at Amity do it from early childhood till postdoc, including the parents. We can go in for executive MBA or continuing education, adult education, the interest or specific area education for those who are sitting at home. They can also become productive. The other day I was talking about capacity building homes. Now in each home, if you enter as a university, can you take care of the whole family? Well, that can be another aim. Have we developed a sense of critical thinking? Or are we in the mode that no, I'm the best and he's not, he is below me and he is to be neglected or he is to be shouted at? No. Critical thinking and evaluation, and then right kind of a suggestion to the student as well as parents as well as to the governing body or the members, and that comes through your in-depth study. Faculty must do that. Then maybe the last thing which you can think of is if you are a person from one field, how do you impact the other field? Cross-discipline or cross-cutting issues, if you can address. Like, for example, we had one faculty yesterday coming to us, and they were saying that can we do a research on understanding the impact of the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn region. What is the impact or the difference in the people compared to other regions, all those who stay along these Tropic of Cancer? Since Tropic of Cancer passes through Ranchi, this seems to be a very relevant topic to research. So cross-cutting, this is not related directly to anything, or maybe geography people might have done something on this. But if the IT people also come in, the society also comes in, the cultural aspect of that particular region is studied, and the impact is seen, the type of thought processes are seen, there can be a good study, psychology study can be done there. Then what are the communities who are really benefited by our system, which is the educational system that we are leading or professing about? That's where the wholesomeness of the educational system is what we aim at. We must achieve, and achieve in time, achieve happily, achieve efficiently, achieve with access given to everybody, and at the low cost in the least time, without anything wrong. Well, business still will thrive. Business is not all about doing wrong. Business is about doing things right, because if your product is right, it speaks, it goes to the market. So then rest is only to be seen. So there are other types of things which are more important in terms of our own understanding of taking the feedback from faculty, whether faculty are really happy or no. Just saying that you become good is not good enough. So how an organization is able to really take the feedback, continuous feedback, shared ideas. You can have idea forums which generates ideas. Ideas can be groomed and converted into something productive. How much of involvement of the society as a whole, how much of tie-up have you done with people like hospitals or even because hospital, I'm saying because we all suffered during this time. So are we able to help support insurgencies or critical situations in society? We have to be ready for everything, like any army person or soldier who's to take shape or take charge of the country as a whole. So I'll again conclude. Let me now conclude, since it is 2-3 minutes left, that having studied the relevance of education and understanding the objectives as well as features of national institutional ranking or the national education policy, which also encompasses the NAAC and NBA accreditation systems of the Government of India and its vision for this system, we must salute the higher education system and bow down that this is a good time to start accepting and increase our acceptability. If you increase your acceptability and submit to the cause that you are here for, rest follows. Rest gets downpoured. So we have the support from all regulatory bodies, including those who are in private as well as government systems. Each individual student is like a seed that we are given, and we have to sow that. We have to give the right kind of a manure, give the right kind of a shade or a sunshine or water, and once it grows, we all are there to see that the fruits are good and ripened for our health again and our future's health. Ripened fruits are not hard, they are soft. They also change color. Therefore, we must also change if we are ripened. And they also change taste. They become sweeter. So matured fruits, behavioral pattern of changing color, taste, and the softness has to be adopted, accepted with full sincerity, forgiving everybody else who is doing wrong. I would say that much. If you grow that way, evolve that way, very near we have a system wherein you and us together will get recognized as the world leader in education once again. Thank you, sir, so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful insights in most important NIRF, NAAC, and NBA. Although it was the last session, it was the most important session for every single institution. And I'm sure that all the participants have enjoyed each piece of knowledge you have given in this full-length session. Now we are waiting for the valedictory function officially. Till that time, I would like to request the participants to kindly ask the questions if there are, and we will be moving towards valedictory function as soon as Honorable Vice Chancellor and CEO of FELA, Professor Dr. Parvinder sir, and Principal of SPC Mumbai joins. We also request Professor Dr. Raman sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, to be with us during the valedictory function. Yeah, participants, if there are some questions, if you want to discuss some of the things, you are welcome. All of you are welcome. You can put forth your experiences, your views in the entire education system. Extremely sorry for the inconvenience from my side. There are some network issues. Am I audible to all of you? Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Sir, you're audible, but your voice is echoing.
Okay. Is it fine now?
Yes, sir.
Please let me know whether Honorable Principal Dr. Murdi joined, because I joined through my mobile. So it is little difficult for me to know it. Please
Yes, sir,
let me
he's in
know.
the meet.
Yeah. And please let me know whether Honorable Vice Chancellor Sri Parvinder Singh, CEO of FELA, he also joined. Hello. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir, checking.
Did he join?
Give me a
Hello.
minute, sir, I'm checking.
Okay. At the last minute, there is a little network issue. So I had to join from my mobile. Hello, sir. Hello.
So good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So Dr. Raman sir already joined. He is a HOD in Department of Mechanical Engineering in Sardar Patel College of Engineering. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello. Gayatri, please check. Honorable Vice Chancellor Parvinder Singh, sir, joined.
No, sir, he's not in the meet.
Okay. So I think we will start the valedictory function. I think he is busy because I received a message from him. He needs few more minutes. Organizing team, please
Yes,
start
sir.
the
Should I start?
please start the valedictory function.
Okay. A very good afternoon to one and all present. I warmly welcome you to the valedictory function of this one-week national level faculty development program on excellence in higher education, perspective of national education policy, organized by Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Sardar Patel College of Engineering, and Federation of Education Leaders and Administrators, FELA, in collaboration with SA India Western Section and Indian Institution of Industrial Engineering SPC Student Chapter under IQAC SPC. As we all have reached to the conclusion of this excellent program, it gives me immense pleasure to thank all our magnificent speakers for taking out their time and delivering such exceptionally informative and wonderful sessions. In the previous 5 days, we had great personalities from various esteemed educational institutions of the world conveying such amazing sessions and enlightening us so briefly. I also would like to take this opportunity to thank all the participants for being such a great and attentive audience. But most importantly, I would like to thank Dr. Santosh Rane sir, Dean Academics, Sardar Patel College of Engineering, as well as the coordinator of this event, for his valuable contribution and support, without which this program wouldn't have been such a success. I would now like to invite Dr. Santosh Rane sir to kindly say a few words.
First of all, it is indeed a great experience for me also to organize this unique program where all the eminent personalities have conducted the sessions and shared very insightful information and the knowledge based on their experience. Our honorable vice chancellors, they have spared their precious time for conducting these sessions. We are sincerely thankful to all the vice chancellors for the same. In this meeting, we have with us Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. Raman sir. I would like to receive his views towards the entire program. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor Rane. I think faculty development of this kind is a must for every organization and get these inputs. Most of the time, when a faculty joins a higher education system, they are not even taught how to teach. And then learning from their teachers, the way the teachers have taught, they follow the path. And then there are some mindsets which also come in to play as they progress in their career, that there are a lot of activities which are non-productive, like even data management or data reporting and this and that happens. But then all that is part and parcel of any system which has to grow. So if you are being looked at by the regulatory bodies, the governing bodies, or our own management, then this is the best guideline which should be accepted to develop in our own. And once you develop, you deliver it to the student, and then it goes on and on and on. So it's a cycle of upliftment that every life must become best capable, I would say. And there is no end to capacity building anyway. So whatever best you can, you must do it. Sky is the limit for reaching that. And opportunities like this are always welcome. Nobody should miss it, because even the speakers put in a lot of emphasis, and I'm sure all vice chancellors have put in their best so that the faculty members, even though we don't know each other, you're sitting in Bombay, I'm here in Ranchi, Jharkhand. So this advantage must be utilized. If you know something, I can gain from there and things like that. So these steps must be encouraged. I'm extremely happy to be part of it, and thank everyone who has contributed, who has been part of it, and especially I don't know how I got associated with FELA, and then this is, I think, second or third interaction that we have had. It's a nice experience speaking about it. This is almost my 30 plus years already over, and now is the time to give back. Whatever I can, I'm always ready. Thanks once again to Professor Rane, people from SA India, Institution of Industrial Engineering, of course, the college, Sardar Patel College of Engineering, and everybody, the people who organized, the people who are comparing, and most of it, especially the faculty members who had the patience of listening to individual speakers for almost 1.5 hours or 2 hours in every session. So thanks and welcome. You're always welcome to be connected, and exchanges of knowledge always increase the knowledge. This is the only thing which does not reduce by sharing. Thank you very much once again. Thank you. It was nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words and appreciation. Now, I would like to request participants if they would like to share their feedback. Yeah, participants, all the professors, faculty members as the participants, if anybody want to share the feedback. Yeah. Yeah, please. Now I request Dr. Umare to say a few words. Dr. Umare, he is the head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, SPC, Mumbai.
So thank you, Rane sir, Dean Academics, Sardar Patel College of Engineering, Dr. M.A. Murdi, Principal of Sardar Patel College of Engineering. Also, special thanks to Sesha Iyer, Director, Board of Governors of SPC. So Dr. Rane has arranged and coordinated this program, Excellence in Higher Education, Perspective of National Education Policy. I want to give some quote for all participants, how this education policy helps for the development of technical education, quality of teacher, and how accreditation, that is National Board of Accreditations, NAAC, is compulsory for technical education to promote correct education to students. My quote is, learning gives creativity, creativity leads to thinking, thinking provides knowledge, knowledge makes you great, and I say start learning now to become a great person in the technical education. National Education Policy is focused on a new education policy to develop technical education and focused on gaining of practical knowledge rather than theoretical bookish knowledge. The present system in technical education is not exactly oriented towards the recognition of field of expertise of fellow students. I only say that memorizing students can earn good credits in the present system, and afterwards they fall behind the competitive world. And to become a 360-degree students, they must learn a national education policy first. And I appeal to all participants to follow all the rules mentioned in the national education policy. Thank you very much. Thank you, organizing team of SPC, particularly Gayatri Patil, and a second person is
Gayatri, Piyush, Aniruddha,
all organizing team, Gayatri.
entire team.
Okay. Yeah. So they have taken a lot of pains, and all are mechanical departments. So this is very important for me. So thank you very much. Thank you all participants for attending patiently all the programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Raman. Now I will request Honorable Principal Dr. Moody, sir, to kindly say a few words.
Good afternoon to all. Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Raman, heads of the department, my faculty colleagues, course coordinator Dr. Rane, and organizing team. I am very happy that SPC and FELA, in collaboration with SA India Western Section and III SPC Student Chapter, have successfully completed 1 week national level FDP on excellence in higher education, perspective of NEP, from 18th to 22nd December. I congratulate the coordinator and organizing team as well as all the participants. As you are aware that almost all the speakers were vice chancellors from reputed universities. The FDP received a good response, very good response from participation from across the country. The sessions were highly appreciated by the participants. I thank FDP coordinator Dr. S.P. Rane for his sincere and hard effort in organizing this FDP. He personally contacted the speakers and made them to agree to speak in this FDP. It's a great task. Thank you, Dr. Rane. I also thank Dr. Kiran Bole, Dean R&D, and SPC organizing team for successful completion of this FDP. I thank FELA, SA India Western Section, III SPC chapter, student chapter, for their association and help in organizing this FDP. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind words. I'm obliged. I think Professor Dr. Anupa Madam from Department of Electrical Engineering, she also joined. Madam, would you like to say a few words?
Good afternoon, all. First of all, I congratulate Dr. Rane and his team, along with FELA team and SA India team, for organizing such a wonderful training program. Uh, Actually, we are into NIRF ranking, then NAAC accreditation, then NB accreditation, but many times we consider that as a procedure. But the basic aim of all these things are to improve the quality of education, and then of course the outcome will be the good quality graduates will come out from the institutes, and the employability will be improved, which is really the the worrying factor in our society. So I am very sure that after attending this workshop, we all must have understood that this is a continuous process, and we have to put our efforts as a teacher to improve our institute in all respects. So I sincerely thank Dr. Rane for organizing such a training program, and thank to the speakers who agreed to spend their valuable time and enlighten the participants. So once again, congratulations, Dr. Rane and his team and the participants for completing this course. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your kind words. Now, I would like to take the opportunity to give the thanks to every one of you. First, I would like to give my sincere thanks to all the eminent speakers, vice chancellors of the reputed university. We had wonderful sessions conducted by them. So I sincerely thank Professor Dr. Raman Jha, Vice Chancellor of Amity University, and also the director at FELA. I also thank Professor Dr. Raghuveer Singh, Vice Chancellor at Tirthankar Mahavir University and director at FELA. I also thank Professor Dr. Parvinder Singh, Vice Chancellor at Rayat Bahara University and CEO of FELA. I also thank Professor Dr. Tabrez Ahmad Sir, Vice Chancellor at GD Goenka University and Director at FELA. I also thank Professor Dr. Chattar Singh Sir, Vice Chancellor at Rai Technology University and Director at FELA. I also thank Dr. Professor Nagendra Parashar, Vice Chancellor at Bahara University and member at FELA, Director at FELA. I also thank Professor Dr. Abhay Kumar, Vice Chancellor at Pratap University and Director at FELA. Also thank Professor Dr. Saili Gankar, Vice Chancellor at D.Y. Patil University and Director at FELA. I also thank Professor Dr. Victor Gambhir, Vice Chancellor at JECRC University and Director at FELA. I also thank Professor Dr. Vikas Singh Sir, Vice Chancellor at ITM University and Director at FELA. I also thank Professor Dr. Kripa Shankar Gupta, Director at Center of Quality Minds and Director at FELA. Similarly, I also thank Professor Dr. Remendu Mathur, Vice Chancellor at Birla Global University and Director at FELA. So all these are the eminent speakers, and we are really fortunate to have such eminent personalities as the speakers, and we have received their precious inputs in this entire 5-day faculty development program. I'm sincerely thankful to all the participants who are the faculty members from the different reputed universities and the institutions across India who participated and made this program as a grand successful event. I also thank the directors of FELA, and my special thanks to CEO of FELA, Professor Dr. Parvinder Singh Sir, for giving all the necessary help in organizing this activity. I have received blessings from our patrons, Dr. Shesha Iyer, Chairman BOG SPC Mumbai, Dr. M. Murdi, Principal SPC Mumbai, Mr. Nibande, Chairman SA India Western Section, Mr. Ramesh Pasrija, Executive Director SA India Western Section, Mr. D.V. Bhagat, Chairman III, and also Dr. Parvinder Singh, CEO of FELA. I also received the necessary support from organizing team, Dr. Bhode, Dean R&D SPC, Dr. Sanjay Bokade, Principal RJIT Mumbai and Chairman of III Mumbai Chapter, Mr. Sudhir Vaidya, Manager SA India Western Section, and my entire III SPC student chapter team and SA Collegiate Club SPC team members. Gayatri, Piyush, Aniruddha, Sadhvi, Samir, Arundhati, Ritesh, Isha, and Anish for doing all the necessary activities. I'm sincerely thankful to each one of you for making this entire event as a grand successful event. In future, we will be happy to organize many more such kind of events and putting sincere efforts and more hard work for the betterment of the institution and betterment of the entire education system. Thanks to each one of you. Have a great day ahead. Bye. Thank you. From my side, I'm over. Where I officially conclude the valedictory program. Thanks to each one of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody, for attending the course.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks to everybody.